doing, Tennessee Mom? A big shout out from Tennessee. Today we're going to make a unique gift. I have a old hula. It's a cross stitch hoop, just a wooden hoop that my husband's mom give me. So it's pretty old, but we're going to use it for something unique, and I'm going to give it back to her as a gift. So what we're going to do first is I've got some Granite gray apple barn paint here, and I've got just a paper plate. We'll put a little bit on here. Shake it up first. I have a foam brush. Actually, I've got some water in this cup. I'm gonna pour a little bit here in the paint itself, just a little bit, and mix it up. You've seen me do this before. I'm gonna take this paint and I'll make it more like a stain. So when it goes on, and when it dries, it'll be more like a stain than a paint. Ooh. Watch me make a mess. Okay, that was a little too much water, but it's okay, we can fix it. I'm just gonna add a little bit of paint and just stir it up. Don't worry about if you make a mistake. Most mistakes can be fixed. And that's one good thing about crafts is you can just take a mistake and roll with it and make it something unique and different. Now I'm just going to paint this wooden hoop here. I'm gonna lay this over here and let this one dry. Okay, well those hoops are drying. This right here is just it's diaper material. I got it at Walmart. It was in a little bundle that was a yard. I just cut a piece off, a little bit bigger than the hoop. You can see the impression of the hoop. You can see that circle there. A little larger than the hoop, and that way I can cut the excess off once it's done. Okay, so we're going to go to an app here that's going to take the picture that I have on my phone and do a mirror image so we can take it to Walmart or the FedEx or Staples, anywhere that has a inkjet printer. If you have an inkjet printer, then you can do it on your own printer, but I didn't have one. So we're going to go to, it's called Canva, Canva. And so I'm going to go to my picture here. I've already put it up here, so I'm going to bring up my picture. And once it pulls up, then I'm going to tap on the picture, and then I'm going to scroll over to where it says flip at the bottom of the screen. See, flip? So I'm going to flip it, and I want to do it horizontal, because if I do it vertical, it's going to go this way. So I want to do horizontal, that flips the image. So that's a mirror image. Okay, so then when you want to save your video to your photo, so that way you can either send it to your printer or take it to Staples or Walmart or FedEx, wherever has an inkjet printer, so you can print it off on regular paper. So then I'm going to tap the little arrow up there. I'm going to download it. And then download again. And that will prepare my picture and save it to my photos, which I'm... Now save to my camera roll. Modge Podge that I have. And then I have just regular foam brush I got from the Dollar Tree. Also, you're going to need either some, I've got wax paper here I'm going to lay down under the cloth. Or you can use a mat, or if you have one of those plastic mats from Dollar Tree, that would work perfect. But I'm just going to use this, and what I'm doing here, I just don't want because once this glue dries, it will dry hard, and it's just like a glue, the Modge Podge is. So it will stick to your table. So I'm going to put it on this wax paper so it won't stick to the table or the wax paper. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Modge Podge here. I've already shook it up. And you can make your own Modge Podge too. You can just take regular Elmer's elementary glue, you know, the liquid kind, and then put it, add a little bit of water to it. I think it's one part, I think, but just add it to it until you have this consistency of liquid glue, and you can make your own Modge Podge. Now, I'm going to take this photo because I don't want it exactly like this. So I'm going to take this photo, I'm going to cut it up. I actually made 2 copies of this, and I'll show you why in a minute when I have them printed off. had 2 cut out, so 2 made. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the scroll design down here at the bottom and then one at the top. I'll save the photo for if I don't want to do another project with it. I'm gonna save the photo. Just put that to the side. There. Now I've got 2 mirror images, so to speak, of these scroll designs here. So they don't have to be exact, so don't worry if one's a little bigger. Alright, so now I want to take one of my hoops here. You can see that stain done really good that we put on it. You can see that. That's what I want. It's kind of like a stain, but you can still see some of the wood grain in the fabric in the hoop. I've already got it stained here. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything. It's gonna just give me a better layout how I need to lay my photo. Now I'm just gonna tighten it up. Now make sure your fabric is pulled taut, so you have a really taut surface to work on. I'm still gonna lay that down my wax paper in case some was to seep through. They'll go on the wax paper and not my table. Alright, so this is going to give me a better image of where I can place the photo. Okay, I didn't tell you this before, but make sure you have 2 pairs of scissors, one to cut the paper and one to cut the fabric. I'm actually going to take a little bit off this picture. And I'm gonna round the edges. So I just rounded the edges as you can see here. Placing it where I want it. Oh yeah, that will work out perfect. Okay. Now I want the bottom memories down here, and then I think I will put the date up here. Yes, I think that will look good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn everything over. Okay, now once you start putting your Modge Podge on, don't try to cover the whole area and then put all the pictures down, because it might dry too soon. So you want to do each individual piece at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue here where this one was laying. You want to make sure you saturate the fabric really well, because this is what's going to help keep the image on the fabric, but you can still take the paper away. So I want to make sure. It doesn't matter if you get any on the, like, outside the image, and it's fine because it's going to dry clear. I like this project because you can kind of adjust it as you go, because it's not going to dry right away. It's going to take several hours to dry. And you can even leave it overnight if you want. But you know, this would make a great anniversary gift. Christmas gift, birthday gift. You don't have to, you can do any kind of image. I didn't get a glue right there. 9:30 here, so we're gonna let it dry for several hours. I'm just gonna sit here, leave it here, and let it dry. And then we'll come back to it here, and I'll bring you back in a little bit. Now that we have the image already Modge Podge on here, I'm gonna take the hoop off. And I'm just going to let it dry here on top of the wax paper. And because once we start to remove the paper, the hoop won't be sturdy enough, so we'll need the table. So we're just going to lay that out here on the wax paper so it won't stick to the wax paper or the table. So we'll come back later once it's completely dry. Okay, it's about 2:30, so it's been about 5 hours. I'm a little impatient. It's totally dry. You can see it's stiff. It won't hardly bend. It did stick to the paper a little bit right here, but I was able to easily pull it off, so it is good to go. So I've got a wet sponge here, just in some kind of lukewarm water. It's not really hot or cold, it's kind of lukewarm. I'm gonna wet my sponge. I want this saturated. I mean, I want it totally wet. I'm just gonna rub it a little bit. You can see that some of the paper is already starting to come loose. You can see that right there. So now I'm gonna take my finger and lightly rub it. Wet my finger every once in a while so I don't want it to dry out. So all I want to do is remove the paper and leave the image. Just like that, if you can see the image poking through. And I find that your finger is actually the best tool that you have. But like I said, you just want to keep your finger wet because you want just to remove the paper. Because if you rub too hard, you're going to remove the image, and we don't want that. We just want to remove the paper. Okay, now I took the wax paper up and I just laid a towel down because this is really wet. I'm just gonna lightly brush with the, I've got a clean dry sponge here. I'm just trying to brush any loose paper off the image. I took the hair dryer and dried it, and as you can see, it's still got paper on it. So I'm wetting my finger and pulling back the image again. Just gently rub it. Okay, so we've got the second round going here. And I'm playing around with some different stuff that I'm thinking about adding some 3D effects to it. I've got some appliques here. They're roses that you just iron on. And then I have some, this is actually an oak shoestring. I just cut off, you know, the tips of it. These things. The end guards, and I'm going to use that to frame out the picture. I think that will look really cute framed out. Then also, since the frame here itself is sort of like a grayish color, I actually have some gray ribbon. I lost my ribbon. Hang on a sec. It was just here. I know it didn't grow legs to walk off. Here, oh, here it is. I guess it did. But I have some gray ribbon, and I'm gonna make a little just freehand, a little bow here, and I'm gonna put them in the corners of the pictures. And I think that will look really good because I want a 3D effect also with the picture. But I think that just looks amazing. I'm not sure yet if we're going to have to do another round of removing paper. We're going to let this dry and come back to it. We don't want to do any more to it right now because it's still wet and I don't want it to mess up any of the photo. So we want to let that completely dry and then we'll come back and see if we have to do another round of removing the paper. I'm hoping we don't. I'm hoping that took care of it, but we'll see. We'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I went back over it again and got some more paper off of it. Now, it depends on how thick your paper is, how many times you're going to have to go back over and let it dry and go back over it again and get some more paper off. But I'm not going to take any more paper off mine because I feel like that is enough. And I'm going to put some more Modge Podge on top of the image and all of the little images I have on here. But I'm going to put it on smooth so we don't have any lines in it. And so we don't get wrinkles or air bubbles in this. The Diaper Podge appliques. I just like the idea of a 3D effect, so we're just gonna make sure I don't have any lines, especially in the picture. That looks good. Now I have put 2 coats of this on here because I want a really good seal to it. And in between, I didn't show you this, but in between of the getting the paper off and all that, I use the hair dryer to dry it. And that's what I'll do with this Modge Podge too, to help dry it. So I can iron on, these are iron-on appliques. So I'll iron these on, and then I'll glue on the, with some hot glue, the ribbon. Okay, it is completely dry, my fabric. And I think it done really well. So now we're going to take, I've already got my glue, my iron here heated up. So we're gonna get on my iron. It's just on a hot, cotton heating. This is actually a shoestring that my son, it was too short for his shoes, so I just cut the guards off at the end, and I'm going to use it because I think it's neat. So now we're going to take our glue gun. Just going to add a little glue there to the edge. Now we'll just help frame it. And when we come to the corners, since they're kind of rounded, I'm going to just fold it over. You see that, how I done that? I'm just going to take that corner and I'm going to fold it over like that. So, add some more glue. And I'm just going on the edge of the picture. Now I cut a little bit up on the edge up here when it met. Just a little bit extra. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over like that and glue it so that will mimic the other sides. I'm going to add a little glue here. Get my scissors here. And I'm just going to fold that piece over like that. And it will mimic the other sides. It's really starting to shape up nicely. I'm in love with this. All right. Now what I've done here is I just took this ribbon and I just freehanded to a bow. Just like that. And cut off the tail there. I'm going to fold it in half like this and cut it at an angle like so, and that will give me ducktails. Okay, so let me do the other side. This is shaping up nicely, I think. All right, now I have that gray ribbon I told you about. I've already made one bow. Shorten the loops a little bit. I'm gonna make my ducktails. I gotta figure out where I want this one. I think I might do it the same way. Let's see. Actually, I think I'm do this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some ducktails on this long piece of ribbon here. Because I have an idea. I think I will just have to really set it off. So I'm going to put some glue here. Okay, now I've got my hoop base under here. I'm working my material. And so now I'm going to take, and we'll turn this over. I am just going to cut off the excess of the material here. Just go right along the ring. Full. I think that is really pretty. I think it turned out really well. And with that Modge Podge on there, that picture is not going anywhere. Okay, I got some flowers that I bought from Walmart, and I give 97 or 98 cents for. So I'm gonna just remove the tag. And I already cut it from the bundle, but I'm gonna show you on a couple here how to remove one if you don't have the what else is called, floral clippers or whatever. You can improvise. I do it all the time. Now you can either take a not your good pair of scissors. These are my fabric scissors. I only cut fabric with those. These are dull as it could be, barely cut paper. So they're perfect for this. So if you have an old pair that is dull, keep them. And you can use them for this. But I'm going to cut this one a little shorter. And you can see I'm just taking it and twisting it around the blade of the scissors. And I'm going to take it and just bend it back and forth. Until it pops off. So it makes a clean break. Or you can get one more, make them even, because yeah. There, okay. Or you can take anything like these are my husband's shears. They're like, really don't know what these are. They're for just in his toolbox. I guess cutting tin with. But you can take these, and it works perfect. This cuts right off, and the piece fell on the floor. So, but they work too. So you can improvise, and you know, if you don't have something, make something else work. It's fine. I do it all the time. So I'm gonna take my two shorter roses and put them to the side. I'm gonna take all my roses here, and I'm gonna push up the leaves. I'm actually gonna cut one more. Maybe I can hold on to this one because I'll make 4 short roses. There we go. And see how that snipped right into in half there. It's a great tool. So anyhow, I borrow his all the time. So, because I'm sorry, those things you just could find those at the Dollar Tree. You can't hardly find them at Dollar Tree anymore, and they're expensive in like Walmart, and I'm not paying that price. I'm sorry. So I've got my glue gun here, and it's hot. So I'm gonna add some. I got this greenery also from Walmart, and I want to say I paid like it was either $1.09 or 99 cents. It was something like that. Anyhow, I cut them off the stem. So I'm gonna add some glue here to the top of this, and add my flower stem to it. Because ultimately, I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna hide this right here. So, we got one on here. And I'm just going to keep staggering it. We're going to do one on the other side. And I'm just going to keep building on it till I get that covered up really well. And you know, you don't always have to go out to Walmart or Hobby Lobby or whatever and find material to do stuff with. My son ordered, I bought him a comforter set from Walmart. And they had this black ribbon tied around the comforter. So he brought it out to me and he said, can you use this or do I just need to throw it away? I said, no, I'll save it. I'll use it for something. So I am actually going to use this for this project. It didn't cost me anything. So you can look up stuff and see what you can use it for, because you'll be surprised what you can use stuff for. It's amazing. And save you money in the long run. So like I said, I'm going to add a rose to this now. I may have to cut this shorter too. I think I will. I might end up cutting all of them shorter. So I like that. I like those being shorter. I don't want the stems showing. It's good to place where you want your flower to before you add the glue. That way you have an idea of where you're going to place it at. I think that is shaping up quite nicely. I like that. I like it better like this. Oh, that looks good, I think. What do you think? I think that looks good. Alright, so I'm going to add that. I'm going to cut that one a little shorter. Turn this over. Add my rose first. I'm going to make that a little shorter. But about as short as I've done the other ones. What I'm going to do is on the rim of the wood here, behind this, I'm going to add this flower. So I'm just going to add some glue there. think that just adds to it and really makes that picture pop. But you can see the back side's not so pretty, so we're gonna dress that up a little bit. You're not gonna see the back once it's hung, but I am going to take this ribbon that I got off my son's comforter set that I got him, and I'm just gonna add it to the back side of this frame here. So I'm gonna start with a little glue right here. Now it's gonna be longer than the wood, of course, but I'm fine with that. It is the back side, so it's not gonna be seen from the front, but it'll help hide this so it's not so ugly on the back side if you ever do turn it around. So I'm just going to continue to add that glue all the way around and just kind of fit the ribbon. Okay, I'll take some of this ribbon that's left and I am going to make a hanger for the back side of it. I'm going to get the rest of that ribbon that's left, and I'm going to just freehand a bow here. I'm just tying it like you would tie your shoes. I don't do the bunny hoops. I do the round and through the tunnel. I guess that's what you call it. That's what I tell my kids anyhow. But you can make your bow however you make it. I'm gonna fluff out my bows here. Right, just like that, okay? It made a cute bow. So I'm gonna take my ends here, I'm gonna make a ducktail. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold my tip material in half, okay? And I'm gonna choose however long I want the ribbon to be, and then I'm gonna take my pair of scissors for fabric and I'm gonna cut, I always forget, yeah, I'm gonna cut this way and I'll make you a ducktail. So I'm gonna do the other side the same way. And I've got this silver bow here at the bottom that I've got here at the bottom here. I'm gonna place it right on top of it like this. And I think that is just gonna help tie in the silver and the black together. And the reason why I chose that silver ribbon to go with this was because of the scrolls. It come out like almost a silver look. So I think it really complements each other. So I'm going to take this bow, add some glue to the back of it, and I'm just going to place it right there on top of that one. But I'm leaving the loop so it's got, you can see both bows. Finished, and let me lay it down here so you can see the finished product. May God bless you and have a good evening. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. We would love to have you.